Hey everyone, Wolvin here. Hope you're having a wonderful day today, and welcome to episode 2 of Wolvin's Warung podcast, a podcast where I essentially talk about anything and everything. And today, I would like to not discuss. Are we discussing now? It's just like a group discussion now. I guess it technically could be a group discussion if we wanted it to, but basically, today I reconnected with some of my old high school friends, and it made me happy. That's for sure. I haven't talked to her in some time. Actually, we kind of like parted ways in a very awkward manner because during that time I actually had a pretty big high school friend group, and we were in like a pretty rough patch. The group was pretty rough when we went our separate ways. So I was just kind of under the assumption that maybe she didn't really want to talk to me, or maybe I guess we're kind of awkward now cuz we're not that close anymore. I guess that's what was in my mind the last time I talked to her, and I guess it makes me really happy to know that it's just me. I'm just being paranoid, and she's still cool. We're still cool. It made me happy to know that we were still able to talk like we did in high school. Part of me was kind of scared to reach out and talk to her because I was afraid that, I don't know, maybe she's a little too different, that I don't know who she is anymore. And it went great. We talked for an hour and a half. I kind of felt bad for the people around me because I was kind of dramatic. I was trying to be as quiet as I can, but it's kind of hard when you're excited. I have a very loud demeanor when I'm very excited. Also, like a very funny side note, I'm literally recording the second episode the day after because I'm just so excited for this whole podcast thing. I want to get it. Saying I want to get it over with makes it seem like it's a hassle. It's not a hassle. It's generally fun. I love making podcasts more than I thought I would. So I'm just like, I'm going to jump into this and just talk and ramble. It's fun. Actually, fun fact, when I posted this up to like Spotify and YouTube, and I told my parents, I was like, Mom, Dad, I finally did it. I made a podcast. My mom's reaction, I love her, by the way. My mom's amazing, but my mom's first reaction is just so funny. She was like, oh, just don't, make sure you don't go crazy. And I was like, crazy? Can you like elaborate? Like, what makes you think starting a podcast would make me crazy? And what she meant was she was concerned that talking to myself or like talking to the camera too much would give me a bad habit of talking to myself when the camera's off. And in my defense, I have this thing called only child syndrome, which means growing up, I didn't have siblings that I could talk to. So I've always had the habit of talking to myself. I have constant inner dialogue, not monologue, dialogue. I have two people talking, sometimes 4 or 5 people talking in my brain, just being chaotic. So honestly, being able to bring that inner dialogue inside my little brain out into the world in a form of podcast is actually, I feel like it's probably healthier for me, because in that way I could stop that habit because I don't have to do it anymore, because I'm actually doing something productive instead of arguing with myself over if I want pasta or mac and cheese. Is mac and cheese actually, though, I have a question. Is mac and cheese technically pasta? I mean, macaroni is a kind of pasta, right? But in my brain, mac and cheese doesn't really categorize as, I don't know, that's just me, I guess. I'm probably just dumb. But another fun thing, podcast wise, I was so shocked yesterday because the moment I pressed post on YouTube, it, by the way, if you're curious, podcast is on Spotify and YouTube, so you can listen on any, if you're listening on from Spotify, hi. Hi. And if you're listening from YouTube, you actually get to see me because it's technically a video podcast as well. What was I? Oh, right. I should stop doing that. I keep forgetting where I am. But anyways, I keep getting distracted. Someone's texting me. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is IRL breaking news, guys. My friend just texted me. It's actually the same person that I'm talking about. I was about to talk about right now, but yesterday, right after I posted the podcast, she was like, "Oh my god, you posted a podcast." She screenshotted it, and I was like, "Girl, how?" Like I wasn't even promoting it yet. I just posted it up on YouTube. I don't even have time to like do the promotion for Instagram and TikTok and shorts and whatever. I was like, how? And then basically she told me that she'd always wanted to make her own podcast as well, and she actually made her own podcast while she was in high school. And I was like, oh my god, I should have made my own podcast to begin with, because now I'm actually finding people who want to make podcasts with me. So with that information in mind, like having the information that, oh, there are actually people I know around me that want to make the podcast, we might actually be having a group podcast coming soon-ish. I don't know how long it's gonna take us to prepare, because it's a group project and it takes, thinking about the topics and everything. Whereas my personal podcast has honestly been in the plans for a very long time. I was just not confident enough to, do it. So it was kind of easy. I was able to just wake up and be like, okay, podcast time. But yeah, that's coming. So, and the breaking news that I was gonna say is she texted me saying that I just finished your podcast and 30 minutes suddenly don't feel that long. Aw, that's so sweet of you. She said I sounded naturally. I sounded naturally. That's such a weird word. Sounded natural. That's what she said. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Oh my god, thank you. So that was the breaking news. She texted me, because I have my phone right up here in front of me, where I put my notes so that I will not forget, which is not effective. I'm sorry, but I have notes here so that I won't forget what, at the very least, what the big topic is. And I did not turn off my notification, which means sometimes I get a little bit distracted because it would pop up, and she just so happened to text me while I'm recording this. So that was the breaking news, and I'm just so excited. I love podcasting. It's so fun. And time-wise, I think even though she said, because I actually asked her just now, because she told me she saw it. I asked her, did you think 30 minutes is too long? And she just answered me. She said that it wasn't that long. She thought it was okay, but I might cut it down a little bit, because it might not sound too long for some people, but it feels long for me. Like, talking for 30 minutes straight without someone else replying to me is very hard to keep the conversation just going and going. Another fun fact, I actually also used to have a podcast it wasn't with my high school friends, it was with my middle school friends. Actually, no, my middle school friends are technically my high school friends. I'm talking about them like they're two different people, but no. It's the same group, but it's just that during high school, I guess we just got really busy because IB is the devil. But because of IB, we weren't able to continue that podcast. And honestly, there was just a whole bunch of things that happened in between of middle school and high school that stopped that podcast. But there is a podcast that exists somewhere in the internet of me talking. But I guess what's different about this one and one that I had before is that I wasn't talking on my own. So I had a co-host with me. I was not a co-host, we were both hosts together. It was me and one other person, because we were both in the group. It was like a group of 6 people. So the two of us, we were the most outgoing people, and we were both very good with our words, or at least according to my friends, we were both good with our words. I personally think I stumble on my words a lot, so I don't know, maybe I'm just being too humble. But they said like, okay, you guys host it, we'll just be guests, and so that's what we did. It was actually a part of a club, a school club that me and 5 other people, so it was 6 of us. It was the original cast of that podcast, basically. It was originally a part of our club that we made. So the club came first before the podcast. We called it POW, 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 which is such a cute name. Who came up with it? I forgot. I think it was a group effort. It was POW, and it stood for Palettes of Wonders, and it was supposed to be kind of like an artist support club, especially because we came, all 6 of us, we were at a school who was very STEM heavy, or like very heavily focused on STEM, and for that reason, we art kids are always forgotten by the school, and we were kind of like sick and tired of that. So we were like, you know what, we're gonna be good seniors for our beautiful, basically we wanted to be good seniors for our precious juniors. So we were like, you know what, let's start a club, so that we as seniors, we would be able to help our juniors who want to do art, and we could promote it for them. So for the longest time we had a club. I think it was like 2 years almost, but then we got busy, and we actually successfully passed the club down to another set of leaders. But the issue with the next set of leaders was that they weren't able to, I'm not saying they didn't try, because I think they tried, but there wasn't enough chemistry, I guess, between the members and the leader, and it kind of like fell apart. But I'm kind of like going off topic a little, but basically this podcast was a part of that club that we had, and I don't know how many episodes did it run for, but it was a pretty long running podcast, because we started it a year after we started the club, and we ran the club, at least with the original founders and leaders. We ran it for 2 years, and we passed it down for about one. But our Instagram page, Pow's Instagram page, is a whole different story. We actually did a very good job. We had a decent, actually I could just check it out right now. I have my phone right in front of here. Could check Pow. I personally, I would really love to revive Pow, because it was such a shame that it died. Because our goal for Pow was one day to turn it into a global club where we could have a lot of aspiring artists just be a part of it, and we can promote their work, and you could join in, and we would just like a supportive thing. We had wild dreams, like very big dreams back then. We had 170 followers. We had 125 posts as of the last day. According to this, we actually passed it down another time before it died. It died in 2022. So let's scroll down. It's like 135 posts. So it's gonna take some time. And the internet here, by the way, guys, is not the best. It's kind of on and off. My friend who games told me that the best way to get the internet is to just plug your PC or whatever into the router. And I was like, we have a router inside our room. I didn't know that existed. And the reason I didn't know it existed is because my table, my desk, the one I'm sitting on right now, is covering it. So I am sorry and not sorry for not knowing it exists. But at the same time, I am not a gamer. I am not tech savvy in that sense, so I didn't know that you could plug it in and have faster Wi-Fi. But at least now I know where it is, but I'm probably not gonna use it ever. So POW started in 2020, so December of 2020, and our last post was on October of 2022, so it was like a good 2 years. I thought it was 3. It was a good 2 years. And actually, a lot of my earlier music projects was with POW. We had a parody series. My favorite one, honestly, Tangled Parody, which was animated by my good friend. She changed her handle. I don't know what her new handle is. I think it's Mary's Diaries or something. But one of my first music projects was with POW. We made a parody, the Tangled parody, the one that goes like, "When will my life begin?" or something. I'm kind of pitchy. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But we did the Tangled parody, and my friend Mary, she actually wrote the lyrics. I think someone else wrote it with her, but I remember explicitly that she animated it as well with, I think Fel animated it as well. It was a group project, and I was in charge of mixing the parody and like arranging it. So it was like one of my earliest projects. So as much as I'm sad that club is no longer a thing, I think it served its purpose well, because it definitely did give me a lot of portfolio experience. And as like a young producer that didn't know what to do, working on your own club kind of gave me the confidence to be like, hey, actually it's not that bad. And I think, another funny story, we had divisions as well in this club. We had the art division, the social media division, the music division, and stuff. It's so funny every time I think about it, but the music division was literally just me, no one else. It kind of feels like, it makes me feel like a nepo baby, or whatever it's called, because it kind of feels like the music division was made specifically for me, and I was the only member and I was the leader. It was kind of sad, but at the same time it makes sense, because not a lot of people are music passionate, or at the very least like passionate in the sense that I'm gonna make music, I'm gonna produce. Not a lot of people are like that, at least in this school, because again, it's a heavily STEM school. So yeah, after I retired. Makes me sound old, but like once we passed it down to the next generation, the music division died. So that made me really, really sad. It had a pretty good run though. I had fun, so that's, I guess, what matters. Yeah, so podcast. Okay, wait, let me open my notes again. I did the dumb decision of closing my phone, so now I don't know what to talk about. So yeah, I started back to the original topic of talking with my old high school. I think that was the original topic. Yeah, I was so happy reconnecting with my high school friend, because it made me realize that, I guess, even though we're different people now, we did share not three, I actually spent like 6 years with her, because like middle school we were close then as well. And no matter what happens to the group, like even though we are not as close as we used to be, it doesn't change the fact that we were at some point close. And it's not like we fought or anything. Like, I didn't fight with her. There was no like ill will or anger between us. It's just that we just happened to drift apart. So, and being able to talk to her and reconnect was nice, because it made me realize a lot of the fears that I have it's just me. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I just need to go out there. So I guess I'm kind of on like a journey to reconnect with a lot of my old high school friends. There are a lot of people that I don't talk to anymore from high school that I'm kind of like, maybe it's better that I don't talk to them anymore. For complicated reasons, it's kind of difficult to talk to them, partially because of other people, like exes of close friends, or like friends that were toxic, or friends that I don't vibe with anymore. I am less inclined to talk to them again. It's not that I hate them or anything. It's just, being their friend wasn't like the best experience ever. So I'm not excited to reconnect with them. At least not yet. I'm still kind of healing and healing. Well, I mean, a lot of friends are complicated, guys. Friends are complicated. Like, sometimes I wish that I had siblings, because, well, I'm not saying siblings are easy either. Like, I've heard a lot of complaints from my best friends and the close friends, saying that siblings are the worst. I don't like my brother. I don't like my sister. But at the same time, once they're like tied to you by blood, so you kind of have no choice to be with them. And that's kind of like the bond that I low-key want. That I know that no matter what happens, you'd be there for me. And that's also one of the reasons why I love my best friend so much. She's the best. My best friend and I are a very, very funny story, actually. I would say one of the main reasons on why we became really close friends is funnily shared trauma. It's so basically, when we first became close, which is around early middle school, we were probably like 7th grade. We both had the same bully. We were both henchmen, or forced to be henchmen, of this one stuck-up girl, and we bonded over that shared trauma. So now we were like, you know what? Since we're kind of like stuck together, let's just hang. And we became really, really close. And I love her because she's the only person that I feel, or at least I trust enough to know that you will, like, I can talk to you about whatever and we would just still be chill. And she's also like the funniest person ever. So that's amazing. We actually knew each other for a very long time. I first met her when I was 3, she was 4. I was actually a grade below her, but then I skipped a grade because my school was like, I think you're a little too old for this grade, so let's just bump you up. Big mistake. Because of that thing that my school thought was a good idea to do to me, I missed an entire year of phonics, which means my English was stunted for the longest time. I mean, I'm definitely way better because now I'm living in a place where I must speak English all the time or else I will not survive. And I also forced myself to relearn a lot of the stuff that I missed. A little later on, though, I think my English started catching up once I got to middle school. And I started being more... Oh, I hate it when this happens. I have the word in Indonesian, but not in English. In Indonesian, the word is rajin. Or, you know what? Whatever. Just search up what rajin means. R-A-G-I-N. You'll get it. But I was more rajin to learning English when I was in high school. And I guess that's when I got really, really better at speaking and writing. I'm so bad at writing though. I hate spelling. I'm so bad at spelling. Um, but yeah, so I met her once I skipped a grade, and the grade I skipped into was her grade, and I was in her class. It was so weird. I used to be her bully. She used to be so ticklish, and I would like hold that over her head, and I would tickle her every time we met. And I actually don't know. I should probably ask her. I'm pretty sure she did not necessarily hate me, but she just thinks I'm a nuisance, because I'm just this little kid who came out of nowhere, jumped into her grade, and now I'm bullying her even though I'm way younger than her. But we weren't that close, so we didn't meet that often. But for some weird reason, or like for some weird twist of fate, we ended up being in the same Mandarin lesson. So when we were younger, we both had the same Mandarin tutor, so we were in the same class, so the bullying ensued. But I guess as we grew older, I kind of stopped doing that, because I realized, like, hey, that's not right. That's not right for you to do. You shouldn't tickle people out of nowhere. So I stopped. She started liking me. We kind of became friends, but we weren't best friends at that point yet. But we were like chill, like I liked her, she liked me, we were friends. At least we're not enemies anymore, or whatever. Then we went into middle school, and we got the shared bully. Honestly, that person's probably kind of karma, or whatever. But we shared that same trauma of being henchmen for this one girl we didn't like. So that's when we were like, hey, besties! So the rest was history. We've been best friends ever since. She's so fun. Let's give her a name. Why not? Should I? Let's call her Pokemon, or Pokey, or whatever. I don't know. You know what? I'll ask her what her name wants, what her pseudonym, what she want. I don't have words with me. It's a little. I want to say it's a little late. It's not. It's literally 7:40. But I've been working since the morning, so my brain's kind of foggy. But what I was trying to say, I'm gonna text her and ask her what her pseudonym should be, or if she's okay with her name being on the pod. But I don't know if I mentioned this, but fun fact, I think I did. I forget things, but I'm gonna say it again. But I'm recording this a day after I recorded the previous podcast, because that's how excited I am. And we're nearing the 30-minute mark, and I don't really have anything else to say, to mention. So I guess I'll see you on the next episode. I'll see you in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed hearing me ramble on about my friendship journeys, friendship problems, friendship funsies with friends, my wonderful bestie that we must all love, care, and protect. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. And remember, this Spotify people, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can watch this on YouTube as well. And YouTube people, if you don't want to see me and would just rather hear me, I don't know why you would not want to see this pretty face. But if that's you, you could just always listen to just my voice on Spotify. If you have topics you want me to discuss, you could email me at my email, which would be listed somewhere. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. All of them are MG Wolvin, MGWOLVIN. So that's all I have to say. Goodbye. Be good.